Welcome back to the channel and Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a safe, healthy, happy New Year. And I am back to work in the garden. I've got some weeding to do. The great thing about the drought, if there's a great thing about drought, which we get here in California, is that the seeds for the weeds can't germinate. So once we do get rain here, then the seeds start germinating and they're popping up everywhere all over the garden. So that's what I'm doing this morning. And the sun is vicious this morning, so sorry about the shadows and the glare and all of that. But here I am in the garden and I'm looking around in the spiral and there's things popping up everywhere. Now I did put a lot of seed out, so some of it may be things that I want, but I don't want anything growing in the actual rock of the spiral because that kind of messes up the whole design of it. So I do want to pull those things. And so that's what I'm doing today. I find that weeding is one of those things that I really don't look forward to doing. I know it needs to be done. However, there's people out there that I understand that like to do the weeding in the garden and they find it therapeutic. Well, come on over to my garden because there's plenty of therapy waiting here for you. So I do believe that this is likely something that I had seeded, probably not necessarily meaning for the seed to go into the rock, but I do that. I seed things and then I'm like having to deal with it later. But that's okay. I'd rather have an abundance and have to pull things out than, bare. And it's really nice because we've got the rain and so things are sprouting up. Good thing about weeding is you get out here and you find that, oh, okay, what is that? You have plants growing that you didn't realize that you had growing. I found a lamb's ear, trying to figure out where it was. I found a lamb's ear growing somewhere. Oh, there it is. Anyway, yeah, that's the good thing about getting out and weeding is that you get down at the ground level and you can see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's actually good. There's good. So I'm glad to see that things are growing in here. And I do have some of the hardy aloe. If you remember from a previous video that I had taken some cuttings, some rather large cuttings off of that, and I did place some around the spiral, and they're doing really well. So let me show you that. So these are some of the hardy aloe. You can see that I have growing. I transplanted these from cuttings along here on the spiral. There's another one. And they're all doing really well. At first, sometimes if you do this with the hardy aloe, you will find that they start to turn brown and you think, uh-oh, they're not going to make it. It's not doing well. But hang in there because they will usually come around like these have done. And so I'll show you in a couple other places. So there's another one. There's a big one. That one's putting on growth. So that's good. I'm looking forward to this because once it does start developing the flowers and flowering, I'm going to have some nice yellow shoots, tall shoots around here, and the hummingbirds are going to go mad. So there's another one right there you can see. So yeah. And then I have this aloe here that has some buds. That's really exciting. Yeah. Anytime the buds and it starts flowering, yeah, those hummingbirds swarm around. I had one come up to me right in front of my face, a hummingbird today, and I tried to get some video of it, and I wasn't fast enough. You have to be really fast with the hummingbirds. So anyway, so yeah, I have a lot of things growing in here. I've got some lavender that I seeded. So that's nice. It's flowering, so that's nice to see. And some coreopsis in here. And just mixed with different succulents. which I hope do okay through the frost. We haven't had a frost yet this year, but they don't like the frost, so we'll see how they do. If I'm smart, I'll come out here and cover them with some frost cloth, but will I remember to do that? I don't know. I don't know. And then I have creatures have been gnawing at the nandinas that I planted in here recent, just probably a month ago. And yeah, some kind of critters have been eating on those. I'll show you this one too. So yeah, not fun when the critters are around. So I'm just pulling out this from the rocks, and I believe this is more of the Indian blanket flower, which I like the Indian blanket flower. They're great. They're really beautiful, if you can see that. They're really beautiful, but I don't want it in the rock, so I'm pulling them up. And I could possibly try and save some of these and buy the root and put them somewhere else. But yeah, maybe later. I'm sure there'll be more. So I'm just going around and weeding today, and I'm wondering how everybody's New Year was and what the weather's been like where you are. Have you been able to get out there and weed? And do you have weeds? If you have snow, you probably don't have weeds, which that's probably a good thing. But anyway, we don't get snow here. What would be a very rare occasion for us to get snow here. It's actually getting very warm here in the sun. The hard thing is getting these out by the roots. Got to get to the root of the matter. It's good to get down here at ground level and see how the soil is doing. And if you need to add some more mulch, now's a good time to do that. The spiders in the garden are crazy, absolutely nuts. So it's a good time to get down in the garden at soil level. When you're weeding is a great time to check things out. You can look for little creatures, what's going on if you have worms. That's a sign of some really healthy soil, unless they're the bad kind of worms, and there are bad kind of worms, but I don't want to think about that. There's enough to deal with the other critters in the garden. This is a good chance for me to get out and to see where the gophers have been active. Not that I can do much about them, but I put chili pepper, and sometimes that seems to kind of ward them off for a while. Anyway, the traps, I can't get the traps to work. I've tried, and I'm probably too afraid of the traps going off and losing a finger, and so that's part of it. But I don't mess with the traps. You see that I plant in the baskets, those little baskets that I have. And so I plant things in those baskets and pots. And there's certain things that the gophers won't. I shouldn't say they won't, because they will if they're hungry enough. Anything, I think. So, yeah. Well, Mom has just showed up with Lexi. So let me see if I can call Lexi over. Lexi's the girl. Hi. Did you come to visit Sissy Kelly? And for Christmas, I got this watering can light thingy that I've seen on the internet, and my daughter remembered and she got it for me. She said I have to do a product review. So we'll open that up. Maybe Mom can help me. Fun stuff. Solar light. And these theoretically should be hanging down so it looks like a stream of water. So we'll have to put that together. So just a few minutes, we'll get that put together. Okay, so I've got it set up, and not sure if we're going to keep it there or not, but yeah, so theoretically, when it solar charges and lights up, that it's going to look like it's pouring out water. That's the idea. So like I said, not sure if it's going to stay there, but yeah. And product review, it's pretty flimsy. I can't see it maintaining where it screws together, the two links. It's wobbly, the threads aren't good, and so it's cute. I just think the design could be better, so that's my review. I'm grateful for the present, though. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed getting down and dirty with me today. We pulled some weeds and talked what's growing in the winter garden. And I hope everybody has a great new year, that the year is just full of blessings for you. Get out there and garden your hearts out and enjoy life. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.